Hello and welcome back. In this section, we are going to discuss about the service charge, which is a very significant part, which can be a very significant part of labor cost, because it's based on the revenue. In various hotels, service charge for lower staff can be as good as their basic salary. It can be even more in very high season. So what is service charge? Service charge is usually collected as a percentage to the total revenue, total bill, which is supposed to be distributed to the staff as a tip money, or you can say is a gratuity, some as a service charge. uh, different geographical and countries, they have their own different traditions, but in Asian countries the service charge is a tradition and is considered compulsory. So the government also have a few notifications on service charge, which is normally accepted to be charged from the guest, and it's compulsory for the guest to pay the service charge. They don't really have a choice. However, in certain countries they have a choice. If they want to pay a service charge to the customer, to the staff, they can pay based on their own amount. On some hotel chains they have a fixed amount. If the guests want to pay that fixed amount, it's okay. If they don't want to pay, it's as is okay as well. However, there are always disputes that the hotel want to charge service money. If the guest disputes it, there are problems. So for this video, we are assuming the service charge is supposed to be paid by the guest, is compulsory. So now, what is service charge and how it is calculated? Let's look at the example. I have done country A, country B, because some countries they charge taxes differently. So let's say here the invoice amount is $100. Now the service charge is assuming 10%. In other countries can be different, 10 and 10. So total amount becomes $110 and $110. Now the tax in some countries is calculated based 5% based on 110. So in some countries is charged based on $100 based on the invoice amount. Mostly it's this case 5.5. So total becomes 115.5 and 115. So this 115.5, the guest is supposed to pay this money. The hotel will get $100. The hotel staff will get $10, which is now the distribution is another factor, is sometimes equally distributed among all the staff irrespective of their rank and salaries, and in some hotels it is divided into the certain categories. So the either lower staff get lower percentage and higher staff get higher percentage, or sometimes is based on the performance points of the staff. So different hotel have different policies. We are not going into that. So you must know your own hotel policy, or you can make your hotel policy. Now there are two ways. One, if the invoice amount is inclusive of all the VAT and service money, or exclusive. So let's say what happens if the amount is net. It includes all the menu price includes VAT and service charge. So how to calculate? So in this case, as we know, if the bill amount is 100, the total amount becomes 115. So we work backwards from $100. We divide by 115.5 multiply by 100, so we get invoice without VAT and service money at 86.58. In this case 86.96. So we charge again 10% service charge and then the 5% tax. We come back to the same value as $100 where we started. So this is how the service charge is calculated and distributed. Now, what is the accounting treatment? The accounting treatment based on the policy of the hotel. So let's say if it's 100% distribution or partial distribution. If it's not compulsory for the guest to pay the service charge and it's 100% distributed to the staff, the treatment is not going through the P&L. It's normally outside the P&L in the balance sheet. However, as per the accounting standards, and usually if the service charge is compulsory for the guest to pay, which is the case in most of the countries, the service money should be recorded as revenue, and also the distribution, 100% distribution or partial distribution, is charged to expenses in the month when they are actually distributed. Some hotels, they have a policy on recovering the operating losses and damages from the service charge, so that is normally reduced from the breakages and expenses. So that becomes either an income or reduction from the expenses. Most of the hotel companies, they keep service charge out of the P&L because it's usually distributed 100%. So we have covered the compulsory and voluntary payment already. So this is all about the service charge. In the next video, we will gonna be looking at other labor cost aspects.